And especially in these difficult times, I thank the Liberian people for their kind attention. All over this country, in every village and town, across every region and community, from mosques to churches, from markets to schools, from prisons to hospitals, across all political parties, ministries, agencies, and institutions of the government, no Liberian needs me to tell them that things are bad and only getting worse. Sadly, President Weah and few of his officials who are overseeing and benefiting from the downfall of our country either do not understand this or simply do not care. The heartlessness is wicked and intolerable. 5 years later, JFK remains for drivers and securities, while hospitals overseas treat government officials who fail to properly equip and provide for the upkeep and upgrade of the hospital. And what is worse, they are doing it at the expense of those who cannot afford to go to the hospital. They have failed to keep up. A town in Nimba County is still grieving as we speak and could not find the body of an 8-week-old baby who drowned along with 7 other Liberians when their canoe capsized while they were headed to their farms. Just about the same time, our president was boarding a private jet paid for by those whose bodies we no longer may be able to find, flying out to the World Cup to see and celebrate his son playing for another country. Not only is this a national and international embarrassment, President Weah continues to insult the intelligence of the Liberian people with lies and deception. The shameful truth is that Mr. Weah and some of his officials are actually on safari and having a good time. I wouldn't be complaining, except that they are doing it at the expense of the suffering Liberian people. While they are jollying, many Liberians are becoming increasingly hopeless and going to bed hungry at night. Many parents cannot pay school fees. Many qualified people are being forced to beg because they cannot find work to do. Those who are lucky to be working cannot pay hospital bills and cannot care for the families because the pay is wickedly harmonized. More than 5 years after President Weah took over the leadership of our country and promised change for hope for many Liberians, the only change has been one from hope to hopelessness, as dreams are fading, prisons are overcrowded with young people, mysterious deaths and unsolved murders are leaving grieving families with no closures for deceased loved ones. The cost of living is rising as income continues to fall, and lawlessness and insecurity continue to stalk communities and are abounding all across our country. The common greeting today rings true for most Liberians when they say that God made us. The government is absent. president is nowhere to be found. People are suffering worsening living conditions now than they did before. Our streets and communities are unsafe and mostly unhealthy. Dirt piling up everywhere. The administration is more corrupt, more abusive of power, and increasingly desperate to lead by threats of violence, fear, and intimidation of perceived opponents and other Liberians. By his bad examples, President Weah himself has invited his administration to be indisciplined, deceptive, and wasteful of the country's resources. The hard truth is that President Weah is unfit to lead. He was never a leader, will never be a leader, and his one-term presidency is a failed one. Many in the ruling coalition are coming to terms with this truth about President Weah as the country continues to be embarrassed. The unsettling truth is that President Weah used our country to care for himself and to live a dreamed life of a celebrity. He continues to do so without caring about how his desire to be a celebrity at the expense of poor Liberians actually affects Liberia and Liberians. As President Weah lives in his bubble of pretenses, ranging from a pastor to a musician, doing everything except being president of the country, the duty he was elected to perform. Slum communities are even more economically depressed today than they were ever before. Rising tides and rains are sweeping our country's coastline, threatening homes, threatening people's health and people's livelihoods. As President Weah lives in his bubble of pretenses, pretending to be everything from musician to a pastor, nothing seems to be working in the country. Systems of good democratic governance are all breaking down, and sycophancy has replaced competency. As President Weah lives in his bubble of pretenses, Liberia is leaderless. Our country is becoming increasingly divided. And as President Weah continues to live in his make-believe world, our ship of state is increasingly rudderless. Liberia is like an airplane that is on autopilot, flying by itself. And worse, all of the mechanical devices are malfunctioning. Whether we are headed north or south, we don't even know. All we feel is pain and anguish, hopelessness. My fellow Liberians and members of the Fourth Estate, on December 17th, we will offer the Liberian people a chance to peacefully speak out. It is a democratic right and constitutional guarantee that they be afforded a chance to do so, even if to an unresponsive and deaf government. This government cannot hear. Now we have to believe they cannot even see. No government that sees what is happening to the people in this country will continue to do what these people are doing, who call themselves leaders. We have dutifully informed the Liberian government about the December 17th peaceful rally. Let there be no mistake about it. We make no secret of our intentions. This government has been duly informed. about the December 17 rally. And we have entered into agreement with the Ministry of Youth and Sports for the use of the outside facilities of the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex for the rally. And we will hold the rally on December 17th outside the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. And it will be peaceful. We expect it to be peaceful. Led by the collaborating political parties, this peaceful rally of Liberians is bringing together political parties, groups, and individuals from all walks and stations of life. It is seeking an expression for the suffering people of Liberia. The peaceful rally is dubbed Retire Suffering. If you didn't hear me, let me say it. This peaceful rally is dubbed Retire Suffering. Retire Suffering is a plea for President Weah's failed, wasteful, and disappointing administration to care about the Liberian people and to care about what ordinary Liberians are living through and feeling every day. Retire Suffering is a cry for President Weah and his administration to be more accountable and stop being wasteful, deceptive, and corrupt. Retire Suffering is a patriotic call to fix JFK so that a minister and his driver and security and all Liberians who cannot afford to be flown out of the country at the expense of the government, so that they too can go there and be treated. Because every Liberian life is important and matters to our country. Retire Suffering is to stop the wicked slicing of civil servant salaries while the president wastes taxpayer money on jollying, going everywhere, even where he's not even invited. He wants to go to other hotels in other countries around the world, live there, enjoy himself. And the hotels in Liberia look like places for pigs to live. Retire Suffering is for the drowned 8-week-old baby whose tragic death and those of us must continue to prick our collective consciences as they can no longer speak for themselves. That child will be yours. That child, 8 weeks old, would have been the next president, the next minister, the next lawyer. But she and her mother had their life tragically snuffed out when they boarded overcrowded canoe, going to look for food in search of their livelihood, while the president was chartering a private plane, taking an entourage to watch football games, and shamefully stay there, yet to commiserate with the family, yet to speak with that grieving family, yet to say sorry. But that family, the people in that village will never fly their relative to Turkey. They may never fly the private jets, even though they are paying for it. And the man is paying for it to do it, he simply doesn't care. That's why there is a Retire Suffering. Retire Suffering is for all grieving families who cannot find closure, as well as all those who continue to live in fear. Fear in their own communities. People now at 6 o'clock scared to walk in certain parts of our country. Drugs, crimes, taking over communities. The future of our country being gambled Because our young people losing hope, no job, graduating from colleges, graduating from universities, cannot find job to care for their ailing families. For the mothers who sold billboard and fish to send them to school, those mothers cannot retire. They have to continue to sell billboard and look at the children that they school, that they educated, sitting in their community, wasting away, and watching them turn to drugs and to crime out of their own frustration. That's what this rally is about. For that mother selling fish and billboard under the sun and the rain, she too has a voice. She too is a Liberian. She too tired suffering. Government must hear them. Tired suffering is the echo of a country too rich and yet so poorly and so incompetently managed. Dire suffering is the reverberations of all who are watching their dreams fade away. Many wake up every day giving their best to this country. Health workers, doctors, teachers, policemen, they want to do their best. But the government gives them no chance. Nurses working overtime, dietitians, teachers, students trying to make it, and the government failing them with failing schools. They too want to be heard. They too are tired suffering. Tired suffering is a chance to say to President Weah and his administration that people need help. It is unfair to see what people are living through every day. You use at-risk youth. You put their name out there. You collect money and nothing else to be heard of. You abuse them in the name of politics and power. You get the power. You don't look back at them. And their life just remains wistful. Agencies responsible to stop drug peddling are in fact facilitating drug peddling in our country. You open up our country to drug trafficking. Dire suffering. For all those young people, pimping riders, keke riders, walking through community. That is all that they have. That is all that they have. While the government makes mockery of them. Your son may be playing for another country. But these other young Liberians have dreams. You're killing their dreams. You're giving them no chance, no hope. Your dog Roxy lives in New York. And you're missing it. Not even good to come and live here. And you're the president of our country. Tired suffering. Dire suffering is a chance to see the President Weah and his administration that people need help. People need jobs and a chance to care for themselves and their families. Dire suffering is a call on the administration to do their jobs, to serve the Liberian people and not themselves. Liberians are tired suffering. We hear echoes of this everywhere. We have a duty to help them peacefully express this to the government. And make no mistake about it. You will not frighten us. You will not frighten the people of Liberia from expressing themselves. I dare you. I defy you. The foolishness has to stop. You think you can intimidate everybody in this country? No, you can't, and you will not. On December 17th, the people of this republic will stand up. The people all across most horizon will stand up. Those who are tired will speak. Because when we deny people the right to speak, then we invite them to destroy our democracy. We will not destroy our democracy. Some of you didn't even pay one shed of blood, one tear you didn't drop for this democracy that you are playing with, for this country that you are treating, for the Liberian people that you are treating like this, turning men and women with pride for themselves into beggars. People who serve this country so diligently, whether it be from the military to hospitals, have no reliable pension to survive on. They have to beg now, begging in the street, just for food per day. And you think you can frighten us? Who are you? People are tired of suffering, and you will hear it. It's your duty to hear the Liberian people when they speak. And you will hear it. Liberians are tired of suffering. We hear echoes of this everywhere. We have a duty to help them peacefully express this to the administration. And we will live up to that duty. This peaceful rally is not for those who are not suffering. I repeat this again. This peaceful rally is not for those who are not suffering. We do not expect that they will like it or be happy that those who are tired of suffering want to be heard. However, we expect that those with the duty to protect those who are tired of suffering and wish to peacefully express it will faithfully and honorably do their jobs. We expect that they will protect all Liberians, especially on December 17th. May I now introduce and call out some of the names of individuals and organizations that are co-organizing the We Tire Suffering Rally on December 17, 2022. They include Mr. Martin C. Kula, Chairman, Mr. Rodney Wilson, Co-Chair, Mr. David Benito of the People Liberation Party, Member, Mr. S. Roland Chobek of the United People's Party, Member, Mr. Amos Myers, National Association of Community Leaders, Member, Man Sange Domba, Cross Border Women, Member, Prince Colin, National Yana Boys Association, Member, Kekura Kamara, National Cultural Union President, Member, Ma Haja Sherry, representing Market Women and Superintendent of Douala Market, Member, Ansu Bility, former CDC Royal Guard, now CPP Royal Guard, Member, Joseph Duo, representing veterans and ex-combatants, Member, Ruben Lakawu, Indigenous Movement of Liberia, Member, Obadiah Talu, National Transport Union of Liberia, Member, Joseph Molu, Contractors and Engineers Association, Member, Bishop Obadiah Allison, Grassroots Pastors Association, member. Gamoyu Debbie Bo, United Pastoral Network of Liberia, member. Usman Beliti, Association of Liberian Muslims for Peace, member. Mozetta Leah, ANC Global Representative, member. Councillor Aloysius To, Reverend J. Asher Kennedy, Mr. Elder Jala, Mr. Momo Samuel, Mr. Nyaki H. Hodge, these are all members. Mr. Musu, Madam Musu Sano, Ms. Williet Coco, Mr. Onesimus James, Mr. James Morris, Ms. Rebel Binto, Madam Kula Kazu, Mr. Stephen Moore, Mr. Mandela Jipley, Mr. Briscoe Toe, Ms. Binta Benedict. These names are initial names of the steering committee. Did I mention the United People's Party? Yes. We have Mr. Robert Warney, an executive here. Is he here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is the question then is choose the side. This is not about party, this is not about politics. This is about country. This is about what people are feeling. Liberians, you have a chance to be heard. Choose your side. You okay? You enjoying? Everything okay with you and your family? Stay home. This is not about you. This is not for you. You suffering? You're running out of hope. Your pay getting cut. You don't even know how much you're making anymore. That is if you're even working. Trying every day to make ends meet. The harder you try, the more difficult the government makes it. This is your chance to be heard. December 17th. Political parties have a duty given to them by the Constitution to be the vehicle through which people will express themselves in the country, whether they are happy or dissatisfied. And so the CPP is stepping up with this effort. We invite more and more Liberians, everywhere, across the length and breadth. We want to make this a Monserrato rally. And if Liberians in other counties invite us to do the same, you be sure we will do it. Because we are responding to the people of Liberia. We have a duty to them. And we keep this peaceful. But make no mistake. What happened here on July 26th in front of the United States Embassy will not happen in this round. Never again. Enough is enough. You will not frighten us. You will not, you can threaten us, you're threatening anything to us. You talk, you puff, you bluff. December 17th, my final comment. before I take the questions. Liberians will gather from all across Monrovia and its environs, and we will assemble peacefully in the outside facilities of the Samuel Kyan Post Complex. We have receipt. The government paid for the facility outside. The government gave us a receipt. So the government ought not to pretend that they do not know or that we've been acting in some kind of secrecy. And we will be there. We invite workers of the government that are tired suffering will also be there. If you're in the government, you be enjoying, stay home. But you have a chance, those who are tired, will defend your right to speak to the government and to be heard in this country. Many gave their lives for that to happen. Some of our compatriots whose blood still filtered the soil of this country. So no more. Anyway, I don't care who you call yourself. Protecting us from doing our duty. You can fail to do your duty, but we will not fail to do ours. Thank you, and I will take the questions.
Thank you, Ambassador Brown, for the critical character, for the speech today. So we take very few questions. We want you to be very sustained in asking the question. We don't want to have repeated questions. So please remain sustained so that we can move forward.
Yeah, my name is Lincoln G. Peter and I write for the New Dawn newspaper. Mr. Brown, I have two concerns and I'd like you to address them. One has to do with the statement of a Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Kuji. Recently, or yesterday rather, he said that your planned protest, you are planning, is intended to cause chaos in the country. And he also cautioned you that gone are the days where you and your legs will use such tactics to cause chaos in your country and cause conflict. What are you respond to that? Number two, you also made mention about rallying thousands on December. And you talk about using the Samuel Kyan Sport Complex as a rally ground for all Liberians under the banner of entire suffering. And one thing I did not hear you made mention of, Mr. Brown, is about you petitioning or calling on other international partners to rally in the Liberian people as the normal way we usually see it, whereas Liberian gather petition other international partners to call their attention. I did not hear you make mention of so. One may turn your action as being a political charade. How do you see that?
So we take another question?
No, I think I can answer that. If I can answer that. First of all, this is a rally of Liberians for Liberians. I don't know how you can do your rally. Or how the man, one of those who are responsible for the suffering of the people of this country, can tell me how to rally and when to rally. But let me say this. This is not a rally to petition the international community. This is a rally to speak to the government. Liberia is 176 years old, if my math is correct. Going on 177. We fought for, bled, and many of our compatriots died for democracy, for the right of Liberians, provided for in the Constitution to peaceably assemble. And you heard me repeatedly emphasize that this is going to be a peaceful rally. Did you say the mayor? Did you say the mayor mischaracterize it and call it what? He should feel. It needs to be wobbling. He should be scared. I want no explanation. I want no apologies. I don't expect him to be happy that Liberians are tired of suffering and want to express it. You expect Jefferson Koji to be happy? Those who have privileges and are abusing power are afraid when people want to speak to such abuses. But let me tell you what is worse. What leads to chaos is when people don't exercise their right to express themselves. That is what is troubling for democracy. I don't need Koji to tell me how to organize a peaceful rally. He has no pedigree. He has no experience, no capacity to tell anybody that just been here how to organize a peaceful rally. What he has proven he has is a capacity to disrupt. And I dare him on that email. I dare him, read it and report it, and let him hear me clearly. There's a reason they are afraid of me. Tell that little boy, there will be a rally, a peaceful rally on December 17th. And he has no capacity to threaten anyone or disrupt it. I dare him. You know, these people try to feed off fear and intimidation. They're deceptive. Because you should look in his own bodyguards like walking with him. They are tired of suffering. If given a chance or if they're not afraid, they will be in a rally. You should look at the city hall he's leading. He should be scared. I bet him if he doesn't intimidate the people at city hall, they will be in the rally. People are simply tired. That is the truth. I am merely, the CPP is merely, Mr. Cummings is merely a vessel expressing the fatigue that people are feeling, the suffering and pain that people are feeling. So he can live in a bubble. We will not petition international community. The international community is not our problem. They will not solve for us what we should be solving for ourselves. And let me repeat this. Tell Jefferson Koji that foolishness they did on July 26th to move others to go assault young Liberians that were protesting. Not this time. Not this rally. You can characterize and call anything you want to call. We will move across the streets of Monrovia, across suburban areas, Monrovia and environs. We will gather outside the Samuel Canyon Dose Post Complex. And we will speak loudly and clearly for Koji and others to hear. They've been too deaf. DEAF. About what Liberians are feeling. We go across this country. And you know what you are feeling. Don't let Koji make you scared. Turn out. I know you president. Yeah? Turn out to call. When he has his say, I was just going to bring a program. I was just doing my job. That little boy gets scared anybody. So tell him Let him hear me clearly and loudly. You can't scare Liberians. Just do the right thing. Just do your job. Just stop lying to the people. People suffering, go private jet, go play football, and tell them we can bilateral talks. Now let me open my mouth.
Okay, so we'll take one question per person, please. One question per person. So, Spoon.
All right, Mr. Brown, my name is Aaron Kuban, and I report for Spoon TV. I have one request and a question. And my first request is that there have been speculation that the group that sought this permission from the Ministry of Youth and Sport to use the Hausa facility did not say there would have been a rally or a protest or whatsoever. For the sake of the viewers and those following us, I understand there was a receipt given to you. I don't know whether you can read what is on that receipt, just for clarification's sake. And my question is, there have been this call by some individuals in the public that the opposition has been very weak when it comes to pressuring the government. Are you buying by some of those calls that our opposition should be strong and put pressure on the government? Is that the reason of this rally? Because some have said that the opposition is weak, and so you want to prove a show of strength.
Look, the opposition comprises Liberians. We are responsible and reasonable people. We do not jump when people just tell us jump. And if you want to be fair, Liberians everywhere, listen to me. We have been the guardian and true custodian of the peace and security of this country. Our action on December 17 is in furtherance of that effort to safeguard and continue to protect the peace, security, and democracy of our country. Those who are threatening the peace are those who we gave the mantle of authority to lead us in safeguarding and protecting the peace. President, we are in his administration. This man think taxpayer money. Go to Qatar. Watching. In fact, I think the people in Qatar are tired with him. Can't any president, even the Qatari leader does not go to the normal gate our president goes to. You run into the man in the stadium. Yeah, you go to the stadium when you borrow your man, go to the stadium when your mama let's take a picture. Then you insult us here. And tell us a bilateral meeting. They are threatening the peace. When Little Jefferson Koji, who has no clue what people are living through here every day, gets up, goes to chase other people to go chase a protester on July 26th. Only to tell the people there will be investigation. Nothing has been heard of that investigation. They are threatening the peace. Many of you in the press, you know, Liberians gathered right here around the Temple of Justice. They were beating. Some of them jailed, wounded, brutalized. The government is threatening us. People die mysteriously. The president said, but y'all go buy CCTV. He is threatening the peace. He's insulting grieving families. He has no clue. He's out of touch. He is threatening the peace. So no, we are not. We are safeguarding. We are the guardians and custodians of the peace of our country. We're more responsible than them. And we act as such. But I don't know what you're feeling. I don't know what you're living through every day. Because sometimes we think this is about other people and not about us. If you're enjoying, if you're balling, if you're happy with the president taking people money, going to a football game, and the people can't take pay here at home, census breaking down, we're not sure about the validity of the report. When it comes out, if it will come out. Uncertainty about our election. This month to begin voter registration. We know the hill or tail. The president everywhere but home. And now that things going well. Things are shaking. He gone. If I bet you, he tell me, oh man, my man Louis Brown will press conference today, my man, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to find any reason I'm going there. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. So no. The opposition cares. We have to act more responsibly. And I'm assuring all of you, giving Liberia a chance to express themselves on December 17th is acting responsibly. When people do not have a chance to express their grievances, that country is in trouble. Their democracy is under threat. So we speak to the government, and we speak loudly and clearly. And you will hear voices, not even mine. We're just providing the opportunity for Liberians to hear. We're not trying for anybody to characterize us as strong or weak opposition. We just know we have a duty to perform, and we deliver on that duty. So let me read for you what a receipt, and we'll give you a copy of the receipts. Okay. So a letter was sent. And little Koji, trying to add he gets super intelligent in the country. We just 2 hours ago there was a meeting. I was listening to that rubbish. We wrote the government. November 16. The letter was received November 18 at 3:30. Honorable D. Yoga Wilson, Minister of Youth and Sports, Republic of Liberia. Honorable Wilson, the collaborating political parties is pleased to inform you that the CPP will be holding a major rally of its parties and supporters in Montserrat County on the 17th of December 2022. They acted like a jail hurry. We don't do things in secret. They can't scare us. They do nothing to us. The rally is expected to bring together members of the CPP national leadership, partisans and supporters from the 17 districts of Montserrat County. In view of the above, the CPP is requesting the use of the Samuel Kayode Sports Complex facility for the whole of this upcoming rally. We look forward to your kind cooperation. Kind regards, Councillor Aloysius Tukuda, lawyer here. Make sure we don't make this. Deputy National Secretary General. The receipt. The invoice. The Ministry of Youth and Sports sent us an invoice based on the letter. Invoice number 506. Ministry of Youth and Sports, Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. The signature on the invoice is dated November 23. Name, collaborating political parties. Address, 19th Street, Singapore. I'm sure you know the address. Are you ready? City, Monrovia, Liberia. Date, November 23, 2022. Quantity and description. Quantity 1, cost for outside space rental at SKD for 1 day, US $1,000. They were trying to make it so hard they thought we would not be able to pay the land. One, cost of sanitation for outside space. I don't know what kind of sanitation they get outside. They say we must pay for it. At SKD for 1 day at US $750. Yes. One, cost for 25 staff workers. And we agree because we know who's going to be. Compensation for 1 day, US $1,250. The thing they can pay is good at it is 1 day. For 1 day, we agree. One, even though we also had to pay breakage fees. I know that the quota will come in. Breakage fee. They say refundable from where? From the government. $500 US. This is stand by the Ministry of Youth and Sport Finance Division. Subtotal 3,500. We get your copy. Tell us how. They don't want to pay for land, we get out to them no more and all that. Because as soon as our progress started, we call it off. That's my answer. You don't mind. Here the receipt. Ministry of Youth and Sports. Receipt number 566. Received from collaborating political parties, 2,000 United States dollars. What did they say? November 23. The same day, right? Was it the same day? Yes. Same day. We got a team to pay against a quick. Use of outside space at the SKD complex on December 17, 2022. Cash received, 2,000. Balance, 1,500. So yeah. Somebody sent me Sunday morning. The German thing is smart. No small material. Somebody sent me Sunday morning. The minister said, erecting CDC. Don't use the complex. I said, thank you, Minister. Tell CDC now to use the playing facility. But we're not even using the playing facility, so you can't do record. And we already finished it. So that's the story. We will be on the outside facility of the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex, owned by the people of Liberia. It will be occupied by the people of Liberia. Two more questions. Okay. Yes, simple first.
My name is Sekou Sharif. I'm the owner of Voice of Liberia. And I listened to you on yesterday when we attended the press conference at the CDC headquarters. There were a lot of allegations. Are you taking into consideration the voter registration process that had to start on the 16th of this month? And you're going to be having such a rally on the 17th. Is it not that you're supposed to be encouraging your partisans to form part of the process instead of having a rally? Another thing is, it has been alleged that 3 names that call themselves the 3 Hebrew brothers within the Alternative National Congress, Mr. Louis Brown, Mr. Martin Kula, and another person that is doing this to prove to Mr. Cummings that it is prudent enough to have Louis Brown as the campaign chair as we move towards the 2023 elections. That you could give him Liberia come 2023. And another allegation you made that has to do with government institutions responsible, to fight the issue about jobs are the ones peddling jobs in the country. Of recent, there was an arrest made by the Joint Security and the help of some international institutions. Can you be specific to the Liberian people as to the institutions you're talking about? And lastly, did you, yes please, it's very important. Lastly, you said you got a permit from the Ministry of Justice. We want you to let the Liberian people know, when did you send a letter to the Ministry of Justice? When did the Ministry of Justice give you the approval? And if you don't receive, or maybe don't have the time to go at SKD, will there be any issue with the Ministry of Youth and Sports because you pay your money according to you?
But why would I go there first?
They said yesterday there was a release out that said no political institutions will do any political activities at SKD. So that's what I'm asking.
I think a letter said on the inside. I think you should read that letter again. But the letter will not even addressed to us.
Okay.
And they already get our receipt. They get our money. The letter will not even addressed to us. So, CDC, we ain't paid yet. I think they don't want to use it. They were telling CDC, no, we're not getting the truck. Because they told us, we went there and they told us, we might not use the inside. That's how we settle on the outside. Everything I read here to you says it's outside. So we'll be on the outside. We are law abiding. We will be on the outside. But nobody will tell us we can't be on the outside. Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice has our letter. I have never said here they have given us the license.
So how will you go out with the process?
Let me finish. I have never said to you they have given us a license. So I was trying to correct that first because you said I said they have given us a license. But they are informed, they have our letter. Our duty is to inform them that as citizens of this republic, we will gather, we will assemble, and we will be at this stadium. They have a corresponding duty to protect us as we do that. And we expect that they will do no less. They will fulfill their duty. I know my friend Musa did. Very good. Law abiding. And he likes his job. Does it very well. He protested before. And he will protect, rally us. Even though Jeff Koji is calling it a protest, I leave him with his description. In his mind, people protesting him and his government. It's okay. We are rallying and we are engaged in a peaceful rally that we know the Justice Ministry will protect everybody, including some Justice Ministry officials who attend up, because plenty of them tired suffering. We know police people say will be there. I'm sure those who will not be on duty, they take out your uniform and come. We know how you yourself feeling. Or those who are on duty, they give all the face palm passing by you. Who understand. Not drugs. So before I pass that point, the Justice Ministry has a communication from us, informing them as it is our duty to do. We have fulfilled that duty. So when you see these beginning making they get this some kind of intelligence that tell them we're having secret childishness. We're not afraid of any one of them. We don't hide. Drugs. Maybe you don't know. And if you don't, I excuse you for not knowing. Not everybody knows what's going on in the country. But if you do and you want, you know, one of my people used to say, "Number more, you want to get video get full tire." Then let me tell you, video get full tire. You are not afraid of anyone. There is no way the kind of drug coming into our country. By the way, something should have break people's consciences. Maybe that Jeff coaching intelligence officer. But the thing on radio, so I don't know why you're trying to distract me. So, there is no way. And let me ask Liberians, how many of you actually believe if the U.S. government was not involved in that last $100 million drug bust, it was coming to happen? How many of you honestly believe that? If you believe it, then Bali Island and the new city that are waiting for me to give you so you can go rent it. Go rent it. Part of the problem in our country is this administration continues to peddle so much lie and deception to our people. I tell you, many, if not all of the ghettos you see here are run, supervised, and protected by those who have the duty to make sure they're not even operating. How else will they be open? And some of them are open so openly. DA, you can't see. No, they can see. But the DA man can get paid. He knows what they're doing the operation at. He passes there, he collects a small issue, and then every month he goes and collects something. I don't know how true it is. I was even told when did that $100 million worth of drug was not a joke. So people were so unhappy that we're winning $100 million worth of drugs. And I hear, I don't know how true it is. Like even the FOC, all of it can be accounted for. I hope it can be accounted for. We heard of a counterfeit being arrested. Since we heard about the arrest, when you can't hear again, what happened to it? The money, maybe you remember the president, you know, there when they were burning the counterfeit or destroying the central bank. I'm not out of press conference, but the central bank governor said, yeah, all the people that were arrested with the counterfeit, like the one we know of. The one we know of, we are only their guests. Some people will die. There will not be drugs in our country the way it is if those responsible for safeguarding our borders, safeguarding our country, were doing their jobs as they know they should be doing. That's all I will say on that. Last question.
Thank you
No,
very
he
much.
answered two of the questions.
So we'll just take last question from another
Hebrew brothers.
The Hebrew brothers and that of the
Voter registration?
Yes.
Okay, look. Voter registration.
it's on the 16th,
Yeah.
and then your process.
They're supposed to start on the 16th. You know how many are supposed to start and start?
Are you suggesting that it will start?
I don't know, and you don't know. But let me answer that. I'm going to show.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah.
So, assuming it even starts on the 16th, that retired rally will help to galvanize people to turn out to vote. Because then from that rally, some people will know for whom to vote and for what to vote, and against whom to vote. Are you listening to me? The people after December 17 will know for what to vote, for whom to vote, and against whom to vote. Now I'm making little Jeff Koji scared. They don't want to see Liberian people telling them against whom they will vote. So they want to distract, they want to create distraction. It will not work. Now, I know he's a call Hebrew brother, oh, in him we're holy. But they can call any minimum. One of the things I don't understand, they say, what is a comment doing with that Louis brother? He misleading me, but hey, to your advantage, I'm misleading him. Wait, I don't want to be your brother. If I lead him, if I mislead him, Mr. Cummings, somebody said, little Koji said, Mr. Cummings was doing very well. Then he went and decided he brought in Louis Brown man. And the mayor playing all kind of things, including rally. They're scared. They know they're doing the wrong thing. They know the Liberian people are angry. So they're scared now. But I'm not worried about their fear. We are more concerned about the people of Liberia that are suffering. And the suffering caused by little Koji and boss man job here. That's the problem. And they don't want to hear the Liberian people speak. But the Liberian people will speak. Liberian people will give them a chance. The security in this country will protect the rights of the Liberian people to speak. The Justice Ministry will protect the rights of the Liberian people to speak. Minister Zoga, who is in the Ministry of Youth and Sport, will provide the facility that we are paying for the Liberian people to speak. And after that, if we have the voter registration on time, I don't know how many things you know in Council ASA, then we will proceed. In fact, that rally will encourage everybody to also register. And we're doing a message everywhere. The only question I have people asking us, you sure? You sure? Even the census, people say, are you sure? But we're hopeful. We are hopeful people and we're remain hopeful. So they call our Hebrew brother. Like that 1 more year. Like that 1 more year. Like that 1 more year. They will see what Hebrew brother can do. Last question, then we'll end this.
Yeah, Mr. Brown. My name is Trocon Flammer and I report for Spoon. And the president isn't in the country. He will be arriving on the 18th or December 19th, moving forward.
You say not sure. You say not sure. Don't say.
So, don't you think this is just a feeble shot?
This is what?
This is just maybe just a feeble rally, because the president is not in the country, and the president is a major person that you're going to maybe petition or you're going to present your plight to. The president is not in the country. Why are you still going to hold such a rally?
Because the Liberian people interest cannot wait for the president to become president. He's just wearing the title, but he's not doing the job. The Liberian people want to tell him that. And believe me, even the press conference, and he had a football game watching it now on Facebook. He has spent all his time on Facebook. I'm sure somebody will carry it live on Facebook. He's watching it now. They'll see the initial on your feed. Don't be surprised. Look, he doesn't have to be here for the people of Liberia to speak. Our country already on autopilot. Yeah, I want to do it. He yelled. The only thing that making us bad ever he not being here is that he's spending our own money. Waste fully. But when you hear that in studio you can be pretending to be John Lennon and Bob Marley. So no, let me clear. The president ain't able to job. Even if he were here for us to present our petition to him, it will not mean much to him. He will not know what to do. But the truth is, Liberian people need to be heard. And we give them that opportunity to be heard. And little Jeff Koji, by the way, they will be surprised how many citizens leading the rally. Because they are themselves tired, suffering. No group is more disappointed today than citizens. So this is not even our party. These boys are disappointed young people, you will never believe it. So we don't have to wait for him to be here. And you call our rally feeble. You hear little Jeff Koji shaking, then you call it our rally feeble. We even live for one hand here. In fact, that today we are announcing the rally. See their reaction. They're shaking all over the place. Because they know they haven't done the Liberian people well. They know they have failed the people of Liberia. They failed their own party. They failed Liberians. They failed you, if you want to. You leading journalists in this country from school. The number of people that are listening to you in the net. You don't even know when the president coming. Maybe on the 18th, maybe on the 19th, maybe not soon. Maybe the more America qualified to go to the next round, the president he would. How do you see a president write his legislature for another country and say, you're sending more, I'm extending, you're like I'm continuing. That's why you want the Liberian people to just continue to swallow in the sack. Look, I've said enough. Let me wrap this up by telling all of you. If you enjoy this is not your rally. Stay home. If you happy with the way the country is going, this is not your rally. Stay home. If you are a journalist and you're happy, and the government doing very well, and maybe you'll be on the next trip, stay home. Don't even call what you say. It's not your rally. This is for people who are suffering and are tired of suffering. Whichever party you're in, whatever work you're doing, it's going to be on a salary rate. You don't work on that day. So policemen, you can get excuse. If you're not on duty, take out your uniform, can't that march. Don't. Liberians from everywhere. This is your chance to be heard. Speak. You have a duty to do that. Your government has a duty to hear you. Whether they like it or not. Do your best. I want to thank all of you. I look forward to seeing all of you on December 17th. From everywhere across the 17 districts of Maserati. Come. You are a Liberian too. You deserve to be heard. This is your chance. This is your moment. This is your time. I look forward to seeing you. May God bless you. May God bless our country.